Data is the primary asset in an organization, and in order to efficiently manage and secure this data, we need to define data roles in an organization. In this video, I will discuss the importance of defining data roles, then certain data roles with regards to business, and certain technical data roles. Now, uh, data roles are very important to ensure the security of your data, that is, who access and control this data. So, these roles and responsibilities should be clearly defined. Furthermore, the Journal Data Protection Regulation requires that these data roles should be specified. Now, there are certain business data roles and then certain technical data roles. The business data roles include data owner, data controller, data processor, and data subjects. And technical roles include data custodian and data user. So, the data owner has uh, is a business role, as I have already discussed, and it is the most important role in an organization because it has the legal right and control over the data. So, data owner defines that how and why to use the data and what are the data protection rules, and it also authorizes and denies access to the data, and data owner is ultimately accountable for misuse and disclosure of the data to unauthorized individuals or parties. So data owner to ensure due care and also due diligence. So due care means that he has to uh, do the necessary maintenance of the data which is expected, and due diligence is the maintenance of due care to verify all the activities we did in due care. Furthermore, there should be a data policy which should clearly specify the use, collection, sharing, and storage of data. So, data owner should have to define this data policy, and every sensitive data must have a data owner. And in an organization, mostly the president or CEO are the data owner. However, they can delegate other data maintenance tasks to other individuals. Now, there are certain synonyms, that is, information owner or data steward. Now, next business role is the data controller. So, a data controller defines the purpose, condition, and means of data processing, and often the data owner is also the data controller. But data owner can also outsource the data controlling part, that is, data to define the data processing requirement part to another entity as well, that is, data controller. And the General Data Protection Regulation or GDPR uh, requires that the personal data processing, there are certain requirements as per GDPR, and these are the requirements, that is, there should be a lawful collection of the data by data controller, and then fairness and then transparency of all the operations going on or being performed by data controller on the data, and then data should be collected on as required. and then accuracy of the data, data storage limitation, integrity and confidentiality of the data. So these all compliance requirements should be fulfilled by data controller. Now, uh, data controller also defines the privacy controls, and it further carries out uh, data processing agreements with data processor. So these privacy controls are implemented by the next business role, that is data processor, which I'll discuss. Normally in an organization, the internal human resource department is the data controller. So next is the data processor, which is also a business role. So data processor performs or handle the data or carries out manipulation of data on behalf of data owner or data controller. And this manipulation may include the transferring of data or transmitting this data to other parties which are authorized by data owner or data controller. So there are certain regulations that is uh, HIPAA, which relates to the medical data, and the GDPR, which relates to the privacy of individuals. So these are the regulations which our data processor has to comply. So data processor is not legally accountable as data owner, because data owner and data controller, or actually the data owner, is ultimately accountable for data. So examples of data processor may include the cloud service providers, research companies, payroll companies, accountant, or outsource human resource department. These are all data processors. Then next business role is the data subjects. So as per GDPR, these data subjects are identifiable natural people from whom or about whom information is being collected. So as per GDPR, we have to, or the data owner has to implement to ensure the privacy of data subjects, that is the security of the personal information. For example, patient is a data subject, so the information related to his diseases or treatment is very private, and it should be protected from unauthorized disclosure. And if any disclosure happens, then data owner is ultimately responsible. Now, another example is the financial or investment related data that is maintained by the banks related to different individuals which are data subjects. Now coming over to the technical role. So the main technical role is the data custodian. So the data custodian could be the IT department. So the data custodian is responsible to maintain data on IT infrastructure, that is maintaining the IT environment to ensure the safe custody, transport and storage of the data. So these all controls or requirements are communicated to data custodian by data owner, and data custodian to maintain all these requirements to protect the data of subjects. The last role is the user, which actually use this data. So it consumes the information of subjects or the data of subjects. So this user could be a customer or intended recipient. So in case of customer, the user performs service level agreement with data processor to ensure the performance and availability of the data. So this was all. Thank you.